Welcome again to my channel, LR Xian. Now, we will review the next chapter of Grappler Baki, the great father and son quarrel arc. It's the chapter where Hanma Baki used the Benda technique against the strongest being alive. Do you think Hanma Yujiro will feel the extreme pain of Benda? Let's find out. But first, please know that you can buy the new Grappler Baki volume collections, Baki the Grappler Season 1 and 2 DVDs, and Bandai's Grappler Baki figurine on the link on the description below. By buying, you can help the channel grow and release more Baki videos. Please subscribe and let's begin. The chapter starts in the middle of the father and son fight. No matter how you punish your body. No matter how you craft your body. No matter what you do. The pain always starts at the skin. Boys. Their skin is honed as they become men. The same goes for women, even though it might be less. The pain that travels through their body as they are pinched. The pain they feel as they are slapped. Is the same. And that is why, since the ancient times, the skin has been subject to torture. The size of the human skin covers about 2 square meters in adults. It is similar to a tatami, a wooden mat, or maybe a statue. There are several vital points all over the body that can only be measured by using millimeters. The skin has several weaknesses. The best way to exploit that weakness is by using the hand. By adding weight. By using its softness. The aim is to turn it into a human whip. The pain it inflicts shuts down everything else. That pain is really severe. He will forget everything and show the pain. Mesmerized. However, Hanma Baki became really surprised. Because Hanma Yujiro is not showing any sign of pain at all. It was no wonder that his son was so surprised. It was as if everything was shut down for a second due to his father's sudden change. Yet, it was then that everything became crystal clear. The pain you feel when you hit your right hand can be somewhat mitigated by hitting your left hand. The pain caused by the Benda was being dispersed by focusing the eye to its maximum. By gritting his teeth, his power was pushed to its utmost limit as his fist was held open with the same amount of force. His arm fully stretched as the muscles were contracted with the same force. His leg, he stood his ground as his muscles were tightened with an equal amount of force. His stomach fully flexed. His hips warped to match the pain. His chest pumped and digging in. His back, every muscle put to use. In essence, every part of his body was twisted and strained to combat the pain that he felt on his back. Yes, every fiber in his body told his 5 senses that there was no pain. By using his whole body, he distributed the pain he felt on his skin until he could finally return to his expressionless self. Baki then thinks it didn't hurt him at all. He didn't feel any pain. Then Yujiro replied, "Heh. How foolish of you to not use that time to hit a vital point. If you think about it, you could have done moves that would be bad for me. But it is understandable for you to act as you have so far. But it is time to let go and come at me with the intent to kill instead of a son who attacks his father. Ha, I would have done so even if you didn't tell me to. Because I am your opponent right now." For the first time tonight, the boy takes up a fighting pose. His hands became a fist. The meaning behind that is obvious. My father's hands, however, still remain open. This feeling. I feel like I have been set up. No, that is not it. I had every intention to take a fighting stance. That is not it either. This fighting stance. I was forced to make it. Yujiro then said. Heh. That is it. This is something you can't learn in school. How to bet your very existence in a fight. Then someone shouted. Baki. The one who shouted is Mr. Takugawa. He continued. You can go all out in this fight. Old man. You can rest assured. All the residents living in the vicinity have been moved to a hotel. They have all been evacuated with the help of the army. He sure is an energetic old man. Commented by the ogre. I also heard that someone tried to stop you two from fighting. I made sure that the person responsible for that was punished accordingly. I hit him with my Benda. Well, not really. It was a slap in the face. Baki. It doesn't matter if, for example, you destroy a building. Just try to beat Ogre. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's time to show you the strength in my shoulder. For now. Let's start with the punch. But before the punch can even land, Hanmabaki got blown away by the ogre, crashing to the wall behind him. Yujiro then said, "This just won't do any longer." Awesome. A straight left punch. When it is fully extended, that very moment, it turns into a strong stick. It was intercepted. As expected. Baki. Right now is the last time. That has to be a lie. There is no difference if you did that with no hands. When I want to add insult to injury, I also pull my punches. This is the last time. If you do not show me the real you right now, there will be no next time. Yes, most likely, that is true. And right now, in front of my eyes, stands the crystallization of strength, who has devoured a massive amount of fighters. At first glance, skills such as mine don't match up to his. So, I will just have to remove my limits. Yujiro then said. Oh. Come on, Baki. Huh? Please don't be another weak fighter. Come on and show your true ability to me, your father. So I can finally try to go all out as well. Hanmabaki is really shocked by his father's reaction. He then replied. I understand, father. It was the first time that he had ever shown this side of himself. Perhaps it was because this was the first time he'd ever pleaded for something. Come at me with everything you've got. Please give me your all. His once bristling hair, now limp, drooping. His face is now weak, almost timid. Standing before this damned fool of a son. He has dropped every pretense of pride. Like a man begging to the object of his unrequited love. His strength was wholly unmatched by any living being upon this earth. But he was plagued by a rival that he could not defeat. This fighting addict, this battle junkie, could find nothing to sate his addiction. Before long, it brought him to a new undertaking. Personally sculpting his greatest enemy. Like a gourmet who indulges endlessly upon the finest foods and rarest delicacies of the world, in the end, the man himself stands in the kitchen to create from scratch his own perfect dish. The DNA of the strongest in the world. Its extreme efficacy was inherited by his son Baki. But unable to wait for what seemed to be an imperfect creation to mature, he chewed up his own son and spat out the remains. That which he had created was now destroyed, completing the circle. Or so it was to be believed. My child once more stands to oppose me. His metamorphosis has been remarkable. With his youthful stubbornness, it wasn't long before all those rivals that he had looked up to him. Across the oceans, across the boundaries of species, further yet, across time itself. He stood unwavering against them all. His strength rivals the heroes of legend. Yujiro then said. I can see right through you, Baki. Quickly now. Bring it out. Figures. Come on. It's impossible to keep a secret from him. Everything that has led up to this point. My progression. Maturity. Evolution. All of it, every last bit. He can see through it. I hear you, Dad. Replied by Baki. Relax. My muscles. My joints. Every organ. Every cell in my body. Then, I can begin to materialize the unimaginably great speed that my insect master alone could reach. Maximum velocity is the initial velocity. The ogre then commented. Tremendous. I could hug you. Baki is really surprised. Then Hanma Yujiro shouted. Concentrate. Melt. Flow faster than water. Faster than air. Take it to the absolute limit. Now. Then Baki suddenly disappeared in thin air. What do you think of this chapter? Do you think Hanma Baki's new technique can damage Hanma Yujiro? Comment down your opinion below. Special thanks to Juan, Stranger Dragons Prevail, Xander Claus, Sam Shires, Aaron Wieland, Valente Jr. Villegas, James Berry, Evan Edrock, Shade Jackson, Dr. Manhattan, Francois, Momo, I Meet Rabbit, The Real Zurvan, Big Samzilla, a Patreon of the Aughts, Spike and Damo, Instinct, Guts Duang, El Muchos, Lukewarm Voss, Baki Hanma, Daryl Hudson, Nicholas Pimenta, and Daniel Arango for helping our channel by being a supporter. We really appreciate your help. If you want to support my channel, please subscribe to my Patreon, LR Sean. I will put a link in the description below. Our next video will be about Hanma Baki's new technique, the cockroach dash. Stay tuned.